Long before the world was tamed by comfort, there were men and women who tamed themselves. The samurai believed that the fiercest battle is not fought on the battlefield, but within one's own heart, for it is there where chaos whispers, temptation strikes, and discipline is either born or broken. To master oneself is to forge the spirit in the fires of Mujo, the law of impermanence. To understand that nothing lasts, not weakness, not pain, not even fear. Only the blade that is tempered by struggle becomes unbreakable. Only the soul that endures fire learns true calm. Self-control is not suppression. It is harmony, the alignment of will, thought, and action. It is the art of holding the flame without being burned. The samurai called this Hagane no Ishi, the will of steel. A mind so resolute that even storms bow before its silence. When desire roars, the warrior does not flee. He listens. When anger strikes, he does not lash out, he breathes. And in that breath, he finds mastery. To those who walk this path today, you are not alone. This is a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a clan of modern warriors who refuse to be ruled by impulse. You are here to sharpen your mind, to discipline your heart, to master your spirit. But if you're ready to forge your will like the ancient warriors, drop a in the comments, subscribe, and join this circle of strength. Together, we are the forge, and every challenge is the fire that shapes us. Awareness is the first awakening of the warrior's spirit, the moment the fog of ignorance begins to lift, revealing the battlefield within. In the way of the samurai, awareness is not merely seeing, it is perceiving with depth, with precision, with stillness. The warrior learns to observe his thoughts as he would the motion of his blade, without haste, without bias. He studies the rhythm of his breath, the tremor of his emotions, the subtle movements of his mind. For the untrained, life rushes by in noise and confusion, but the samurai stands apart, watching, listening, understanding. This awareness is the first cut, clean and silent, that separates the warrior from the masses. It is the realization that before one can control the world, one must first see oneself clearly, without distortion or excuse. Like a mirror polished daily, awareness must be maintained through reflection and honesty. Without it, the warrior is blind, swinging his sword in darkness, mistaking reaction for mastery. Through awareness, the samurai learns to see the origins of his impulses, the spark before the flame. When anger rises, he does not curse it, he studies its roots. When fear whispers, he traces its echo back to its source. The warrior does not fight his emotions, he observes them until they reveal their truth. This is the discipline of Kensho, to see one's nature directly. Awareness transforms the noise of emotion into the music of understanding. It is not about suppressing thoughts or silencing feelings, but about seeing them as passing clouds in the vast sky of the mind. The samurai stands unmoved, allowing each cloud to drift by, knowing the sky remains untouched. In this clarity, power is born, not the wild power of rage, but the calm, grounded strength of presence. The warrior becomes a still mirror, reflecting all things as they are, not as he wishes them to be. In the fires of daily life, awareness is tested. The warrior's mind is constantly tempted by distraction, by pride, by the pull of comfort. Each temptation is a strike of the hammer, testing the blade's sharpness. Awareness turns these moments into lessons, sharpening perception and control. The modern warrior must train this sense in every moment. During conversation, during solitude, during chaos. To remain aware is to remain alive, connected to every heartbeat and every breath. It is to live not in reaction but in response, not as a servant to emotion but as its master. The samurai's mirror reflects not only his victories but his weaknesses. For awareness is not comfort, it is confrontation. Yet through this confrontation he discovers his truest strength, the ability to witness himself completely, without judgment. without fear. In that moment, awareness ceases to be a skill and becomes a state of being. The silent mind of the warrior who sees all and is moved by nothing. Discipline is the essence of the samurai's soul, the unshakable edge that separates intention from action. It is the practice of doing what must be done, even when every fiber of the body resists. The samurai does not wait for the right mood, nor does he rely on fleeting motivation. He moves by duty, guided by principle. In the silence before dawn, when the world still sleeps, the warrior trains. His discipline is not born from pressure, but from devotion. Each repetition, each stance, each breath, all are offerings to his craft. Discipline, like a blade, must be forged through heat and repetition. Every act of resistance, overcome, every temptation denied, sharpens its edge. The warrior understands that comfort dulls the spirit, so he walks willingly into discomfort, not for punishment, but for purification. Through this, he becomes unyielding, a blade that never bends, a spirit that never breaks. True discipline is not force, it is alignment, the merging of thought, will, and action into one seamless motion. The samurai does not struggle against himself, he moves with purpose, each decision guided by clarity. The modern warrior must learn the same, to treat routine as ritual, to find honor in consistency. When the body grows tired and the mind seeks escape, discipline whispers, "Stay the course." This is Shugyo, the path of self-cultivation through endurance. Every disciplined act becomes a strike upon the anvil of character, forging resilience and integrity. Discipline is not about denial, but direction. It channels chaos into creation, weakness into will. It teaches the warrior that mastery is not a single victory, but the daily choice to rise, to train, to persist without applause. The undisciplined mind seeks reward. The disciplined one finds meaning in the act itself. In the life of the warrior, discipline becomes sacred. It is the invisible armor that protects him when the world grows uncertain. Where others crumble in the face of difficulty, the samurai stands tall, not because he feels no pain, but because his discipline commands him forward. Each moment of resistance is a reminder that strength is not inherited, but earned through consistency. The blade that never dulls is not kept sharp by ease, but by effort. The samurai polishes his sword daily, just as he polishes his habits, his focus, his resolve. In a world ruled by distraction, discipline is rebellion, the refusal to be ruled by impulse or comfort. It is the quiet power that builds empires within the self. The warrior's blade gleams not because of its beauty, but because of its use. Because every day it is tested, refined, and made anew. Through discipline, the samurai conquers, not the world, but himself. Patience is the unseen strength of the samurai, the stillness that precedes power, the silence that gives rise to mastery. In battle and in life, the warrior knows that haste dulls the mind and clouds judgment. The impatient hand strikes wildly, the patient one strikes with precision. True mastery cannot be rushed. It is earned in the quiet repetition of disciplined effort. The samurai trains for years to perfect a single motion, to understand that timing is everything. Like a hawk circling high above the field, he waits for the perfect moment to descend. This is not weakness, it is control. The art of holding energy until its release becomes destiny. In a world obsessed with instant reward, patience is rebellion. It is the act of trusting the process, of believing that growth unfolds in its own rhythm. For the warrior, patience is not the absence of movement. It is the mastery of time itself. To cultivate patience is to master emotion. The samurai knows that anger, frustration, and doubt are sparks that burn away focus. Through patience, he transforms them into fuel for perseverance. This is nintai, the endurance of the spirit under pressure. Patience teaches the warrior to endure hardship without complaint, to move through adversity with calm precision. When life tests him, he does not ask, "Why me?" He asks, "What can I learn from this strike?" Each delay, each setback, becomes a training ground for inner stability. The samurai's calm is not natural. It is forged through countless trials, through the discipline of breathing, waiting, and watching. He learns that even in stillness, progress happens beneath the surface, just as the sword hardens quietly in the quenching water. In patience, the warrior discovers that slow progress is still progress, and that true power is built, not granted. In the heat of conflict, patience becomes the difference between chaos and control. The warrior who waits for the right moment does not waste strength, he channels it. The patient spirit moves with the flow of life, never against it. When obstacles arise, he does not strike blindly. He studies, adapts, and endures. This calm before the strike is sacred. It is where wisdom and instinct merge. In this pause, the samurai finds clarity, the understanding that every challenge has its season, and that no storm lasts forever. The modern warrior, too, must learn to be still in a restless world, to hold his vision steady even when progress feels invisible, for patience is not passive. It is an act of power, a declaration of faith in one's path. The samurai stands unmoved amid the storm, his gaze fixed, his spirit unbroken. When the time comes, his strike is flawless, not because he rushed, but because he waited. Detachment is the silent fortress of the samurai's mind, the unshaken center amidst the storms of life. It does not mean indifference, but clarity. Not apathy, but freedom. The warrior understands that to cling is to suffer, for attachment binds the spirit in invisible chains. He walks the path of Mushin. No mind, the state where emotion does not rule action, where the heart remains calm even as chaos rages. Detachment allows the samurai to see events as they are, not as he wishes them to be. When victory comes, he bows in humility. When loss arrives, he bows the same. For both are teachers, both are passing shadows. To be detached is to be present, to engage fully with life but never be enslaved by it. The samurai who masters detachment wields true control, not over others but over himself. In the calm of detachment, he moves like water, fluid, adaptable, unbroken. In the practice of detachment, the warrior confronts the illusions of the self, the craving for recognition, the fear of failure, the hunger for control. He learns that these are the whispers that weaken the will. The samurai strips away all that is unnecessary until only purpose remains. When his mind is clouded by desire, he withdraws into silence, observing without judgment. This is his purification, the art of returning to stillness. His will returns to seijaku, composure. He understands that peace is not found in the absence of struggle, but in the stillness that endures within it. Detachment gives him sight beyond emotion. It reveals the deeper patterns that govern his path. When insulted, he does not react. When praised, he does not swell with pride. He remains the same, centered, poised, free. For the warrior who stands unshaken by praise or scorn, there is nothing left to control him, and thus nothing that can break him. The world tests detachment through constant distraction, endless noise, comparison, and chaos. But the samurai lives differently. He knows that power lies in restraint, and wisdom lies in perspective. Detachment allows him to act with precision because his judgment is no longer clouded by impulse. Like a mountain unmoved by the wind, his strength is found in stillness. To the modern warrior, detachment means learning to let go of toxic thoughts, fleeting desires, and the need to control outcomes. It is the understanding that not every battle deserves his energy, not every wound needs a response. Detachment sharpens focus. It transforms pain into insight and failure into instruction. The samurai's stillness is not weakness. It is mastery in its purest form. In this calm awareness, he finds freedom from the chaos of the world and peace within his own storm. The detached warrior stands alone, not because he rejects the world, but because he has transcended its whole. Purpose is the eternal fire that burns within the samurai's heart, the unseen force that gives meaning to every strike, every sacrifice, every breath. Without purpose, even strength becomes hollow, and discipline turns to routine. The warrior does not train merely to fight, he trains to serve something greater than himself. This devotion gives direction to his blade and light to his spirit. Purpose is his ikigai, his reason for being, the call that awakens him before dawn and steadies him in the face of death. The samurai understands that a life without purpose is like a sword without a wielder, sharp but aimless. Each day he recommits himself to his path, knowing that purpose is not found once, but forged daily through action. It is the spark that turns suffering into strength and obstacles into opportunities. In its light, he sees the difference between living and merely existing. To live with purpose is to walk with conviction, even when the road grows uncertain. The samurai's purpose is not chosen for comfort, but for challenge. He seeks not what is easy, but what is worthy. When faced with doubt, he returns to his why, for that flame never lies. It reminds him who he is and what he stands for. Purpose transforms hardship into honor. It gives weight to every sacrifice and value to every failure. The warrior accepts that his path may be lonely, his victories unseen, but still he walks it, for the flame within does not depend on recognition. This is Makoto, sincerity of heart, the absolute truth of one's intent. Through it, the samurai aligns his actions with his values, his words with his soul, and in that alignment he becomes unstoppable, not because he seeks glory, but because he serves a mission that transcends fear. Purpose is the compass that keeps the warrior from drifting into despair or distraction. When temptation calls, when fatigue whispers, purpose answers. It is the guiding star through every storm, reminding the samurai that even small steps matter when taken toward something eternal. In modern life, many lose themselves in endless noise, chasing goals without meaning. But the warrior chooses differently. He forges a path of intention, each act a deliberate strike, shaped by clarity. Purpose gives power to patience, strength to discipline, and depth to awareness. It unites all virtues into one flame. And when the final battle comes, the samurai faces it without regret, for he knows his life has been lived with direction, with fire, with truth. His sword, his heart, and his purpose are one, shining through darkness, guiding others, and proving that true mastery is not in victory, but in living every moment for something that endures beyond the self. In the end, the path of mastering self-retribution through samurai principles is not a journey of becoming someone new. It is the awakening of who you truly are beneath the noise, the fear, and the chaos. Awareness, discipline, patience, detachment, and purpose. These are not separate lessons, but the 5 folds of a single blade, your spirit. When each is sharpened through daily practice, they merge into one. A calm, unbreakable strength that no storm can bend. The samurai did not seek perfection, he sought presence. He did not chase victory, he embodied it through mastery of self. That is your task. To forge your will in fire, to rise above impulse, and to act with precision born of peace. You are the smith and the sword, the fire and the steel. Every challenge you face is a strike of the hammer shaping you into something greater. Do not run from discomfort, let it carve your character. Do not fear failure, let it refine your edge. Remember, the world cannot break a spirit that has already chosen its purpose. The strength you seek is not out there, it waits in the silence within, in the space between reaction and control. So, warrior, stand tall, breathe deep, take this philosophy into your battles, your routines, your every choice. Let awareness be your mirror, discipline your blade, patience your armor, detachment your calm, and purpose your guiding flame. For the path of self-mastery is endless, but it is the only path worth walking. If this message speaks to your spirit, drop her in the comments, subscribe, and join this brotherhood of modern warriors. Together we sharpen the mind, strengthen the will, and forge the unbreakable spirit of the samurai within.